Hey, what's up? It's your boy JP. I'm clocking right back in with you guys. We're dropping heat after heat tonight. The topic of discussion is today is I'm going to talk about why everything is fake, conditional, and transactional. I always advise people, when you get to a certain age, you shouldn't really take anything really personal because at the end of the day, it's all under a condition. It's all transactional. It's all, you know, fake. Because here's the reality, everything under the sun, and when I say everything, it comes at a price, bro. like even love, we all know love is conditional, especially for a dude. Friendships are conditional as well. Relationships, any type of relationship, any type of connection involves some type of condition for them to play out that, to play out that role with you. Because I really noticed that, everything has a if this, if this aesthetic is met, then I will act like this. If this aesthetic is met, I will behave like this. If this aesthetic is met, I will force myself to exude this feeling towards you. If that aesthetic is not met, then I'm going to not even, show you any type of compassion nor decency. And that's people. That's how people are. They just want their conditions to be met to act like a fucking human being. I've really noticed that. They If their conditions are not met, they will not act like a fucking decent human being, bro. But when if they meet a person that meet all their conditions and their little fucking shallow requirements, I guarantee you, from an outside person looking in, you'll say, man, how he's acting towards that person is amazing. He must be a great guy in real life. He must be a good, righteous, moral person. He must be a cool guy. He must be a down to earth person. But reality is, whoever that guy's interacting with that makes him give off that perception is a person that meets their requirements, and thus makes them, act a certain way that makes them look like a decent human being. But that's not really the case. I've noticed that about everything in society. Is like everything has a fucking condition. Everything's transactional. Everything is fake. You know, my friend, who blocked me on fucking Instagram, blocked me on fucking Facebook. He took the time to block me on two social media platforms because I was, during that whole election fucking charade, I was trolling. I was trolling like a motherfucker. I was trolling. I was trolling the NPCs, making fun of fucking Kamala, whatever the fuck her name is. I was making fun of it. I was kind of poking the bear. And he comes out of nowhere saying, well, oh, well, who are you to judge? And, oh, you have no idea what it's like struggle. And, we want the first black lady to be a president. And, it's fucking garbage. And he blocked me over some political shit. You hear that, you guys? He blocked me over people who sleep in mansions. He blocked me over a rigged, predetermined charade fucking election. That's why he blocked me. That's why he blocked me. That's why, we're not in connections anymore. I haven't heard from him since. I haven't heard from him ever since that shit. And that goes to show you, bro, even with friendships, bro, people say they want to be a monolith, but it's a lie, man. You have to be a monolith for people to be friends with you. You have to be. You have to be. It's conditional. If you're perceived as a loser, if you're perceived as the point of ridicule in a social space, if you're perceived as a low life, then they will slowly and surely, disassociate themselves from you. They will treat you in a way that makes you get away from them. You know, that's how it is, man. Friendships is conditional, transactional, and fake. Everything is, bro. Everything is, bro. There's nothing you can name that's not transactional, that's not conditional. Even morality, bro. Morality is a lie, bro. Morality is a lie, man. People will treat you decent. People will treat you like a good, like like a god, bro, if you meet these requirements. If you have this, if you drive that, if you look like this, then yeah, bro, they'll act like a upstanding human being. But good God Almighty, if you don't have any of those requirements, they will treat you worse than a child molester. I swear to God, I've seen this happen in real time, in real life, bro. I've seen it happen. You know, I've seen women treat dudes that don't have the car, that don't have the look. They treat them worse than a rapist. They treat them worse than a pedophile, than a serial killer. They absolutely just destroy them, humiliate them, just absolutely just like a piece of shit female. All because that dude doesn't have this look, that dude doesn't drive this, that dude doesn't, exude this type of masculine domineering energy. Women love emasculating, bro. It makes them feel powerful when they could emasculate a man. They love that shit. They love that shit, especially black women. Especially black women. You know? But that's the topic, man. I really noticed that, bro. All of our interactions is just so fake. All of our interactions, all of our dealings, all of our emotions, all of our outrages, all of our moral reservations, it's all fucking bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all transactional. It's all conditional. It doesn't mean anything. Under the right circumstances, the thing that we would be outraged for, we wouldn't be as outraged if it's dealing with a certain person. Look at all these celebrities that have all this dirty laundry, bro. Look at all these celebrities, man, who's done horrible things, bro. Who's beaten on women, who's rumored to be a sex fucking predator, who's rumored to be a POS in real life, man. Look at all these celebrities, man, and they are still beloved. They are still propped up you know, as pillars of society. And these people are absolute disgusting in real life, you know. And this is not and the people who say, "Oh well, you don't know them." I know I don't. You don't know them either. You know a media image that's curated from them, from a PR team that tracks everything they do, that makes sure that they don't say the wrong things, you know, to keep their image clean. That's the version of them, an image that's curated for them by a PR team. That's the image of them. That's the image from them. You don't know the real them. You don't. You don't know the real them. You have no idea. They could be the most disgusting people that you met, but you will never know, because when they go on TV, they say nice words. They say all the right things. So you think in your head, this person is this way. No, he's not. He's in front of a camera. Relax. You know. But that's the topic of discussion. It's all transactional, man. It's all transaction. It's all conditional. It's all fake. It's all fake, man. If normal people did half the shit that these celebrities did, bro, they would catch literal hell on fucking earth. They would be skinned alive. They would be exiled. They'll be bullied. They'll be emotionally destroyed publicly on the spot. They'd be everything under the sun. They would, oh my God, they'd be global enemy number one. But, for them, the rules are different. The rules are different. So I advise you guys to not take anything personal. Don't take people's passionate moral reservations seriously, because under the right circumstances, they'll throw all that shit out the window. They'll throw all that shit out the window. They will. They will. And I've really come to the conclusion that this whole life, this whole world, society is just a fake fucking charade, bro. And we're like we're like dancing puppet on the end of days marionette show. We're like puppets on a marionette show. Like this way, going that way. We're dancing puppets by our puppet master, you know, by the people who live in the shadows that we will never know, that we will never see. We're dancing puppets, you know, and that's what I come to grips with. That's what I come to grips with every day. I look at this shit and just I don't fucking care, bro. I don't fucking care what people believe. I don't fucking care what people do. I don't fucking care what people are passionate about, because I know under the right circumstances, all that shit will go out the fucking window, bro. I don't care for friends. Friends are as transactional as fucking lovers. You know, friends are your friend that you got right now is as transactional as that girlfriend you fucking got that you think can do no wrong. I guarantee you, bro. If you go out with your friend, stop spending money so much. Stop covering the bill. Stop acting in the way that they like. You know, start doing certain activities that don't align with what their perception of you is. They'll start to judge you. They'll start to view you like a weirdo. They'll start to grow, you know, disenchanted with you. Like, oh, what is he doing? Why is he changing? Oh my God. And then they don't want to be friends anymore. They want to go to somebody that meets their fucking monolith fucking requirements. You know? So it's all bullshit. Kindness, bullshit. You know, you don't have money. If you don't have money, man, people have nothing for you. They don't have nothing for you but their dark side, bro. That's what you have when you don't have any money. That's people don't have nothing for you but their dark side, but their evil side. That's all they have, bro. When you don't have money, that's all you're gonna see from people left and right. When you don't have money, when you don't look a certain way, you're just gonna see people's evil side from everybody. When you have money, when you have fucking aesthetic figure, you're gonna see people's good side from everywhere. You're gonna see everyone's good side. If you have that, you're gonna think the world's a good place. If you have all those shallow requirements met, if you look like a superstar, have money and all that shit, you're gonna think the world's a pretty good place because you get treated well. You get treated well. So in your head, you're thinking, man, I don't see how this person could be a pessimist like this, man. I don't see how a person could be this negative, bro. I don't see how a person could be this, this dark. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And they don't understand that they themselves and the other person who don't meet those requirements live two different realities. They live two very different realities. The person who doesn't have it, the person who doesn't have these requirements met, they see the world for what it is. You know, you know, they see the world for what it is. They see people for what it is. When you're on top of the world, you can't see what's at the bottom. You don't see the world for what it is. You see the world in a very a very idealistic, orchestrated, idealistic, forced perception of the world. It's forced. You bent a horrible world to the perception that you want because you have all these things. That's how people who's probably at the top, who's been rich for so long, who's been famous for so long, that's probably how they view this world. They view it as a wonderland, you know. But that's the topic of this video. I wanted to say that, you know, everything has a condition under it. Everything. I knew the world was bullshit when I realized that, People's morality only goes so far, you know. People's morality stops when, when you don't have anything for them, when they can't benefit off of you. That's when they stop being nice. That's when you see the real them. That's when you see a version of them that they are when, you have no value to give. And that's all the world really is, in exchange for value. A girl likes a girl sees a guy, she sees that guy and she thinks in her head that guy can look good. She can brag about that guy to her girlfriends. That guy can, help her perception. That guy can make her feel wanted. That guy can boost her self-esteem, boost her popularity, boost her money, boost her life path. That guy can, create a legacy for her, and it's all conditional. And she goes after that guy. You know, she goes after him and gets him. But if that guy was a regular Joe, she wouldn't even bother. She wouldn't even fucking bother. Same with relationships, friendships, marriages, business partners. It's crazy, you guys, man. I'm just so fucking tired of this world. I'm tired of fucking, you know, I'm tired of playing this fucking game. I'm tired of going outside and putting on this fucking mask like we don't know all this shit is bullshit. You gotta go outside every fucking day and pretend like this world of ours that we live in is deep. We gotta go outside and pretend like this thing is governed by a fucking God and governed by fucking magical energy in the air. That's what we gotta pretend. We gotta pretend like the law fucking means something. We gotta pretend like morality fucking means something. We gotta pretend like everyone's born equal. We gotta pretend like some people are just not. Some people are not just destined for greatness when we know that they are. Some people who are right now, as we speak, are destined to be rich and destined to live a beautiful life. We gotta pretend like that's not real. We gotta pretend like this is an equal fucking playing field for every fucking body, when we know that's a fucking lie. The shit that they brainwash people and the children in school. Oh, we're all born equal. No one's better than another. Treat people with respect and you'll get respect back. Work hard, you'll be rich. You know, you gotta pretend like all that shit really fucking is real. You reap what you sow. You gotta go outside and pretend like all that shit's fucking real, bro. You can't say any of this shit that I'm saying on this channel out in the real world. They'll think you're a fucking lunatic. But yeah, it's all under a condition. All of it. And I'm tired of them like it's something different when it's not, man. It is not. It's just, I'm just tired of this shit, you guys. This world is hell, bro. This world is hell. Whoever designed this world needs to fucking die, bro. And I'm over it, bro. I'm over this shit. I'm over people. I'm over friendships. I'm over relationships. I'm over, every fucking thing under the sun. Nothing interests me anymore, you know, because I already know you go out there, people look at you, people try to vet you, ask you questions, say bait statements just to see how you bite on them. And then depending on your responses, they start to build an image of you in their mind, you know. And that image in their mind, you have to consistently reinforce that image in their mind for them to keep friends, for them to keep cordial with you, for them to keep showing you respect. The second you go against that image that you've built for them in your mind is when they start to treat you way completely different. And that's society in a nutshell. That's people in a nutshell, you know. But that's my statement. That's my analysis. for this video. Leave a comment down below, subscribe, share. I'm coming back with the heat. I've missed you guys. It's JP, and I'm clocking out.